Saturday, that's right. So it was Richard Jones Murphy, and then Stephen Richards and Brabham was fifth, and it was a real cruncher. This one's been a clean affair, but a good race.
There's been a lot of, I've heard a few rumours that actually that Stephen and Jim might be in the same team, but look at Jones. Jones right over the back of Jimmy Richards now.
Jones now has a go. He decides it's time to move. He's weaving all over the place, trying to get a faster line as he comes out. Tucks it up on the inside. He might do it too. Brad Jones now, he'll lose out. Jimmy Richards squeezes him. Jones goes round the outside, gets way over on the ripple strip there. But boy, oh boy, gets the line back. What about Brad Jones? He's going off now.
Yeah, well, the four-wheel drive was certainly working there, which he had still two wheels driving on the tarmac, even though two were in the dirt.
All that's done is help Stephen Richards. He gets a little bit further ahead. Now, let's have a look at the Audi. What can it do to the Alfa Romeo? This is the good part of this racing. Alfa Romeo 1, Audi 2nd, Ford is 3rd. So you're seeing plenty. Then in behind them, you've got BMW and Peugeot. They may be slower than the 5-litre cars, but there's certainly a lot more variety.
Well, the real thing is it's a racing, isn't it? You look at Richards now down the outside with the power of the Ford Mondeo.
Jimmy Richards lets the legs start to run on the Ford now as he goes back past Brad Jones. Frustrating for Jones. He drove so well to get that second place. But the Audi handles pretty well, and it's not bad under brakes. So he won't give up Brad Jones. He's a fighter all the way, but Jimmy, too much horsepower there and got past Brad Jones. But they can't do anything about Stephen Richards out in front. We'll take a break. Stay with us, Australia. What a street fight round the streets of Adelaide. So Stephen Richards brings them up the main straight. A massive crowd here at Adelaide watching this Super Tour. Is the first time they've raced this weekend in Adelaide, and they've really enjoyed it. Most of the drivers, it's been a bit of an experience for them, because it can be a pretty daunting place if you haven't been here once or twice before, as Jimmy Richards dances a little now under brakes. Back with a dive, cut card. Oh, is that Jeff Bull? That's got to be Jeff Brabham. Brabham, bang, straight up the back. Thank you, ma'am. Get out of my way. And there it is for you. Jeff Bull, well, that's bad luck for Bull, because gee whiz, he's been driving well over the weekend.
Yeah, and I can tell you, this is exactly what Frank Gardner was talking about. He was saying, coming here with brand new cars, we didn't really want to do this, but we're using it as a shakedown for next year, because the trouble is you can go out and crash the cars and it puts your development back, and that's exactly what's happened there.
Yeah, well, bad luck for Jeff Brabham. Well, I don't suppose you can say that he's really got involved with touring cars since he's come to Australia. He's had some great drive. And here's now Jimmy Richards, looms up on the outside, side by side. It's Jimmy Richards, Stephen Richards with the Audi sitting behind him. Let's have a look at young Stephen now. What's he made of? He's made of plenty. Mr. Jimmy, come and get me if you can. It's not going to be that easy.
Well, that's fantastic. Father and son, I thought they were going to have a little bit of a tap there under brakes, but Stephen had the inside line. Jimmy had to go the long way around, had to pull back in. But Jones now over the back of Jimmy Richards again.
Yeah, not bad racing, is it? Brad Jones now tucks in behind Jimmy Richards again. They're 1, 2 and 3 well back of the rest of them. You saw what happened to Jeff Brabham and Bull in the Peugeot. He continued as far as I can see, but Brabham certainly damaged his car. He won't be going any further. Now, Jimmy Richards, as they come down to this very interesting part of the circuit, quite fast through here.
And one of the interesting thing about super touring racing is we've got front-wheel drive. Jimmy Richards now having a go. Jimmy Richards down. It's going to take the long way around. He won't do it that way.
No, can't do it. You see the pop up back of Brad Jones. Brad Jones takes advantage of that. He comes up beside Jimmy Richards. He should get the run here. He's gone very wide in the Audi. Watch him dive back and he'll get him here. Yes, he does, up on the curb. So Jimmy Richards lost a lot there, went very wide, and that car just got so loose. Now they're side by side. Again, the Audi gets the power down nicely and gets the line through the corner. But all of that's done is let Stephen Richards get in front again.
Yeah, well, Jones gave Jimmy Richards a big squeeze there, pushed him right wide, which is, you know, fair enough, I suppose. And that's been able to get Jimmy Richards off the back. Now, the thing is, has he got a big enough gap when they get on the Brabham straight that the Mondeo, the extra speed of the Mondeo, doesn't overtake the Audi again? You can see Jones starting to drive defensively now, pulling to the inside.
So Jimmy Richards, he knows he's got plenty of mumbo on this thing. It's got grunt in a straight line, and look at that, he just drives straight past Jones, but Jones holds him down under brakes nicely. It takes it up on the inside, still stays ahead of Jimmy Richards. Stephen Richards down in front. The Audi now slips through there nicely, comes and looks good through this part of the circuit. Jimmy Richards got his hands full here, the master. Wow, is this a good race he's having with his son and Jones?
Now watch Jimmy Richards under brakes. There's a chance to our braking competitors here, but no, he can't do it. Now Jones really has to put the hammer down, try and get the advantage, get away from Jimmy Richards, get onto the back of Stephen, so he can get on with attacking Stephen.
Jimmy Richards tries to come up the inside, but the door is shut firmly from Jones and the Audi. You can see them working the ripple strips here now, and Stephen Richards hasn't put a tyre wrong. He has done a sensational job. All of this carnage has been on behind him, and he's just kept his line and kept his cool and kept the lead. So it's Richards, Jones, Richards, Morrison, Full. They're the placings for you.
And we can see now Brad Jones has got a bit of a gap over Jimmy Richards. He's got onto the tail of the Alpha of Stephen Richards, and he'll be working very hard.
Traffic up in front, Warwick, that'll be interesting.
Yes, well, lap traffic can always throw a bit of a herring into it, and certainly if Stephen Richards walks a little bit, Brad Jones will be right there to take advantage of it.
All right, now there's the traffic up in front. They might get it. In fact, they will get that car in the right spot because they should have enough power to go through. Richards goes one way. Look at Brad Jones up on the inside. Takes no risk at all. Now comes back inside and look at Jimmy Richards. Jimmy Richards absolutely flying at the end of the straight and goes past Brad Jones. Well, Jones went up the inside line and left the door open for Jimmy, and Jimmy comes up into second place. Jones back into third. Stephen Richards still in front.
Well, it just shows you one little mistake coming onto the Bradman straight. Jones ran a little bit wide, lost a few revs, and Richards was able to get the perfect run on there and just pull straight past him.
So Stephen Richards has Dad Jim sitting in behind him yet again. He'd have the mirrors full of hungry jacks. That's what he'd be looking at. And he's got his mirrors full of an Audi. There's no doubt about it. Look how close they are now. Jimmy Richards once again poach out, has a look. Let Stephen knows he's there.
Okay, with only 2 laps to go now, it looks like the tyres are hanging in surprisingly well on the front-wheel drive cars. And Jimmy Richards now got his mirrors full of Brad Jones and Stephen Richards with his old man.
So Jimmy now, watch the thing, it gets twitchy on the brakes and Brad Jones comes around the outside again. Oh, Brad Jones, he doesn't mind a bend, a fender or two, and he gets into second place and gets right underneath the bumper bar of Stephen Richards. This is a ding-dong street fight. It's a beauty.
Well, the Audi's so strong through this part of the circuit. He'll be changing over from second to third all through that twisty bits, and he's just going to try and get onto the back of that Alpha, but I think we're going to see Jimmy Richards whiz past him again when they get on the Bradman straight.
Biggest crowd they've ever raced in front of him. There's the tap too. Brad Jones has got there, and Jimmy Richards says, you want to play tap? I'll just go past you. Brad Jones taps Stephen Richards and drops back to third. Jimmy Richards up to second. They're running out of laps now. As I said, the biggest crowd they've raced in front of, and they're turning it on. Paul Morris not too far back to the Diet Coke BMW, but I don't think he's got enough time to stay in touch. There he is there.
Well, certainly, the way these three are going, I'm amazed that one of them hasn't got off the circuit. Jimmy Richards locks up a front tyre. Stephen Richards was wide.
Richards now goes up on the inside, and Jimmy's pulled it off. He's had a look, and they go through there side by side. It's Audi and Alfa Romeo, but Jimmy Richards, he tested them 4 or 5 laps there and got past, and look at the gap he's opened up already.
Oh, you got to feel a little bit sorry for Stephen. He was really hanging in there well, but one little mistake, and bang, he's gone back.
I don't call him the master for nothing. He's a great race planner. He's a driver of thinker. Jimmy Richards, he had a look 4 or 5 times in that area of the track till finally got the run through. Now Stephen Richards, he's up in a second. Has he got enough horsepower to go through? They're on their last lap. Brad Jones now sits right up in behind him. Brad Jones will love to knock him off. There's traffic there, but they're getting through okay. So it's Jimmy Richards. Stephen's led the entire race, and Jimmy does that. Now Brad has a look, but the Alpha power too good.
Yes, Brad Jones, he's really always been quick through this part, but I don't think he's got enough in reserve to hold them out. So the big battle, I think, between first and second will be between father and son, Jim and Stephen.
Paul Morris has done a great job in the BMW to drag it up into 4th place. He's not that far off the pace. Well, I mean, He's learning off the master, but we'll come back to that in a minute because Brad Jones again goes wide there. Loses again a little bit of ground at Paul Morris. When you look at that, that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Morris has done a great job to drag that BMW up to where it is.
Well, certainly Morris can really grab a car by the scruff of the neck and get it to do the job. Now, let's have a look whether Stephen can get up behind Jim and have a go at him under brakes for the last time.
Last chance to do it. Jimmy's got him covered. The Alfa Romeo won't be able to do anything there. Now, can he get the power down quick enough? No, he can't. So Jimmy Richards leads Stephen Richards. Only a couple of corners to go. They call him the master. You can call him the fox. But I tell you what, he's a racer's racer.
Well, Stephen's got one more chance to outbrake him. There's another place on the circuit you can outbrake your competitors, and that's going into the Adelaide hairpin.
Can't see that happening. He's too wide of the old